Let's get right to the end of the show. We're getting closer and closer to WarGames. And now it seems like we have our WarGames entrance set for what we're going to see at Survivor Series. And, we saw the addition of Drew McIntyre to the Vision along with Logan Paul. Cody Rhodes got a great reception last night, as CM Punk did as well. And then we get two big returns, one being Brock and then Roman Reigns. Your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are it kind of went down exactly how we talked about yesterday and last Friday. It wasn't rocket science to figure it out. They waited to the end and the Beast music's hit. And I popped huge when Brock came in the ring because Punk tried to kind of stop Brock, and Brock just got behind Punk and ragdolled the living piss out of him and just threw him. And then he picked him up again and he took a little bit better care of him. And then he threw Cody. The thing about what people don't realize is this about Brock. You can think you're the biggest star in the world. You can think who the hell you are in the WWE. Your ego can be running rampant. You can think you're all that in a bag of chips, and then Brock Lesnar stands there and does whatever the fuck he wants to you, and you can do nothing. And that's what makes Brock better than everybody else in and out of the ring. Brock can manhandle you. If Brock Lesnar wants to, he can expose you and tell the world in a second, you're not everything that you say you are. You're not even close to what you say you are. You're all talk and there's not an ounce of toughness in you. Brock can back everything up better than just about anybody else that I've ever seen. So Brock comes in there and does what Brock does. Just throws everybody around. Proves why he is the Beast.
There's just something right about Brock being with Paul Heyman. And listen, we saw the Bloodline story, which, again, one of the greatest stories, definitely in recent memory. And you can make the argument ever. But there's just something about the Brock and Heyman connection and their relationship that just feels right. And, you and I talked yesterday about, heck, it feels more like they're putting a dodgeball team together than a WarGames team together leading up to last night's Monday Night Raw. All bets are off when you see Brock and you see Roman. Now I'm excited for this match coming up at Survivor Series, but don't you feel the same way? There's just something right about that Heyman-Brock relationship and them being together.
Without a doubt. Heyman and Brock were together from day one. Heyman is very instrumental in Brock Lesnar's success. Heyman guided Brock. Heyman truly was, what was he for Brock Lesnar? The what?
The advocate.
So he truly guided Brock's career in and out of the ring. And remember, at the end of the day, Brock and Paul Heyman are responsible for putting the 1 in 21 and 1. And that look on Paul's face will be remembered forever. That's a WrestleMania moment right there. That shock and awe. So yes, Paul and Brock feels right. And I think going into 2026, there's going to be more of Brock and Paul Heyman.
And we've talked about this. One of the reasons why I predicted that Brock was going to demolish Cena. Now, I thought there was going to be another match and maybe even the last match for John Cena. And listen, at the end of the day, that's still a possibility. I'm not ruling it out because it is Brock Lesnar. And if he wants to, like you said, take anybody out, he could take anybody out on that roster at any time that he wants and make it make sense.
He beats up all the baby faces, and then there's only one guy that can come out that can match Brock, and that's Roman Reigns, the OTC. Roman comes out, the place goes crazy. We have Roman and Brock Lesnar face to face. I gotta ask you, Dave, Anything odd about Roman last night in your eyes?
No, I mean, nothing that caught my eye.
Did Roman look smaller to you?
He was wearing like a weird shirt like that. It wasn't showing off his build. So I don't know if I would say that he looked smaller, but he definitely wasn't wearing something that showed off like his size or anything like that.
He was wearing like baggy, like vinyl track pants.
Yeah, and then he had the shirt, that one long sleeve, one short sleeve.
And then he had on his t-shirt over that. And then when he was standing, I'm like, wow, he looks thinner. All I could say was thinner and smaller. I could not say leaned out, with like a six pack of abs or anything, because obviously I couldn't see it. But I know he looked smaller. Now he's wearing all black, which is going to make you look smaller, unless it's Tommy wearing all black. And he's standing there next to Brock Lesnar, who looks like an absolute monster. Now, here's the beauty of what they did last night. And once again, I will go back to how Brock Lesnar is one of the smartest performers in the history of pro wrestling. Brock Lesnar is killing everybody's last night. And then he gets in there with Roman, and one Superman punch sent Brock Lesnar flying as effectively as Dolph Ziggler went flying from that Samoan spike that Solo hit him with. Brock took one bump, bumped his ass off, ass over tea kettle, and got the hell out of the ring quickly. And holy shit, did that get Roman over in 1 second.
But also,
the Superman punch is kind of it's one of those moves that, it's very entertaining. It's not like hitting a pile driver or a DDT or anything. Just Superman punch. It's like kind of like a people's elbow. It's an entertaining move, an entertaining finish.
No, I was going to say it's usually his transition to his finish, which, usually you see that spear. And that's not what he hit on Brock. The other thing, too, is that Brock had a smile from ear to ear from that punch. It's almost like, oh, shit, I got somebody incredible in the ring with me. And you could tell his competitive juices started to flow, and he's holding his jaw like, all right, you got me. You tagged me on that one. I loved it. I loved what they did last night.
I wish you could be a fly on the wall when that Survivor Series match will be getting put together. To watch all 10 guys come into a room, probably Brock's room, and everybody just sit there in silence, and then somebody will say, all right, what do you want to do, Brock?
I can see that.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see. But is it now, having Brock a part of this and having Brock a part of the Vision, Bully, it's got to be long term. Just like we said with WrestlePalooza, all right, Brock demolishes Cena. There's a reason why. Cena knows that Brock is going to move on. If Brock is going to be a part of this match at Survivor Series, it's got to move forward with Brock too, because the way it makes Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed look in comparison to Brock Lesnar. No?
Here's my thought on Brock and the Vision. Unless you can present to me a really great story, which I have complete faith in Heyman that they can, as to why Brock would be with the Vision and how he can make the Vision better, I'm not too sure of it. Although I am open to it because it's outside of the box for Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, and I just feel like last night, for example, listen, Roman hits Brock with that Superman punch. Who took out Roman? Bronson Reed took out Roman, but then eventually Roman got back on his feet and took out Bronson Reed. So Braun Breaker's outside the ring. Bronson Reed is outside the ring. By
the way, I love the elbows that Bronson Reed was dropping. Very Abdullah-esque.
Dude, how great were those elbows? I noticed them too. Absolutely fantastic.
Tight and devastating. Really, really good.
Because eventually, those are the guys you have to put over, right? I mean,
Yes.
Those are the guys if Brock is going to stick around, by the end of 2026, those guys are made. Breaker and Bronson. Like, those are the guys that really are going to have to shine over the next calendar year. And hopefully Brock will be able to do that. But it's hard to compare. If Brock is there and is staying there, it's going to be hard to outshine a Brock Lesnar.
Here's what I'll say. The thought of Brock being with the Vision, associated with the Vision, intrigues me because I've never seen this before. And how Heyman is going to have to finagle it. Do the young guys in the Vision feel that Paul is paying too much attention to Brock? Is Brock looking at Paul going, what the hell you see in these two? Is it one big happy family? I don't know. And I love, like, whenever you get a guy like Brock who is synonymous with one thing, absolute destruction, when you get some of the outside of the box stuff from him, to me, it's intriguing. I'd love to see Brock involved with more talking. Could you imagine Braun one day disagreeing with Brock to his face and actually stepping towards him? And Brock just saying, "Are you sure you want to do that?" The tension that can be created by these guys. There's so many different ways to go. Or maybe Paul gets so fed up with the Vision that he leaves and goes back with Brock. I don't think that's a great idea, but it's just another potential thing that can happen.
Well, let's just look at this WarGames match, Bully, and who's in it. You got Cody Rhodes champion, you got CM Punk champion, you have Roman Reigns. Like, who knows where the story is going to be with Brock Lesnar coming out of WarGames? Like, there's 100 different ways you can go, not to mention what could possibly happen if he stays around and becomes a part of the Vision. So there's a lot of ways you can go with Brock Lesnar if he's sticking around. And he's sticking around, Bully. You know, he's plastered all over the place for WrestleMania. So we know he's at least going to stick around until WrestleMania.
Yes, he's sticking around to WrestleMania. I agree with that. I didn't want to blow by that. Could you imagine if Logan Paul got in somebody's face and they threatened, and they said, "Hey, Logan, if you say another word, I'm going to punch you right in your face"? And Brock steps in and goes, "If you have a problem with him, you have a problem with me." Could you imagine Brock Lesnar having Logan Paul's back? If Logan Paul knows he's got Brock Lesnar behind him, that's a license to do whatever the fuck you want.
And I could see him like almost being like standing behind Brock, mocking people. Because he already has that gift of annoying the shit out of people. And then Brock is standing up by his side and has his back. Forget about it.